Alright, let's talk about Gnonno, but the first thing I want to mention is that this was tested on the test server and we used average player stats, so you may get better results than we did. I also want to give a special thanks to Kawasa, to where you can find him on Twitch over at Muwasa Gaming, to where he does Raid, FC, and Void Abyss 6 carries as long as you're on Solaris. And Kazir, my Claudia Matrix expert. These two are essential when it comes to testing these characters. And Ridley, greatest Discord moderator, and Bacardi, who helps keep me on track when it comes to Tower of Fantasy news. Now let's talk about her mechanics, which are very simple. You have to manage her stamina and ensure you keep up her pip Octawhip stacks. Stamina management can be greatly reduced if you have her matrices, and keeping up her Octawhip stacks is just a matter of using Gnonno's discharge. Pip Octawhip adds a ton of passive damage from Gnonno, and it also applies detonating treasure tracers, which can stack up to 3 times, providing more passive damage for Gnonno. So it is essential to ensure you have these stacks up to maximize your DPS. So now let's talk about her playstyle. Gnonno is a DPS focused weapon that provides shatter, lots of damage, and buffs to the physical team. She is meant to be the new hyper carry of the physical team, so expect to keep her on field most of the time using her hold attacks. Next we have her Ascensions, which mostly just add extra DPS to her kit except for her A1. Her A1 drastically improves her shatter capability on her hold attacks and provides extra survivability with a shield buff. Her A3 is a damage boost by increasing your pick Octawhip limit to 45, and after you do a discharge you get a physical damage buff. Her A5 allows the detonating treasure tracers to refresh the Grievous states of targets. On top of that, if the target's health is less than 80%, you get a physical damage boost. Her A6 increases the damage of detonating treasure tracers. Next, let's talk about Gnonno's trait. So when you cast your skill and it activates Total Berserk, you increase your final damage by 23% for 30 seconds. On top of that, you get the added benefit of increased movement while underwater. Now, I don't really recommend this trait when you compare it to Fiona's. Fiona has the Maelstrom enhancement, which increases physical damage while Maelstrom is in effect. And this is the main scatter technique that you're going to use in the physical team. Lastly, we have her Resonance. So like most physical limited characters, she has the physical resonance, which increases physical attack by 15% and her resistance by 25%, as long as you have 2 physical weapons on the team. But she also brings the universal resonance, and how you activate this resonance is by having 2 weapons of the same element as long as it's not physical. And Gnonno, of course, is on the team, which will increase your final damage by 15%. But another thing I did want to point out is a 2.5 feature. Grievous is changing for all physical weapons, which does the same effect that it did before, but now you also deal damage equal to 130% of your attack. And when you're in team play, Grievous targets receive an additional 20% physical damage. So being a physical main in group content is going to be very useful. Also, consider subscribing. I do weekly guides, character showcases, and more in Tower of Fantasy. Now let's get to the fun part, the DPS calculations. So the old comp consisted of Fiona, Umi, and Claudia, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Umi using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra, and Claudia using a 3-star 4-piece Umi. And in 1 minute and 40 seconds, they were able to reach 180 million. So let's start with the Gnonno comps, which all use the Fiona trait, starting with the meta comp. And here are the average player stats for this comp. Almost 10k crit and over 21,000 physical attack. This team consisted of Fiona, Umi, and Gnonno. And for the matrices, we have quite a few combinations. So version 1 consisted of using Umi matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Umi using a 3-star 4-piece Umi, and Gnonno using no matrices, her 0-star 4-piece matrices, and her 3-star 4-piece matrices. For version 2, we use Lyra matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Umi using a 0-star 4-piece Gnonno, and a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno. And Gnonno used a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. For version 3, we use physical matrices. So Fiona used a 0-star 4-piece Gnonno, a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno, Umi used a 3-star 4-piece Umi, and Gnonno used a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. For version 4, we use free-to-play matrices. So Fiona used a 3-star 4-piece Shiro, Umi used a 0-star 4-piece Habuella, and Gnonno used a 3-star 2-piece Lyra, 3-star 2-piece Amir. And then we have version 5 using no Gnonno matrices, but this was only tested at the 6-star level using live stat values, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Umi using a 3-star 4-piece Umi, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. And for the scatter techniques, for the main skill they use Hydro Focus, and for the extra skill they use Maelstrom. So here are the results of the meta comp in a minute and 30 seconds. So 0-star version 1 Gnonno with no matrices was able to pull out 85 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 105 million. 0-star version 2 Gnonno with their 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 116 million. In 0-star version 3 Gnonno with their 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 108 million. In 0-star version 4 Gnonno was able to pull out 77 million. For the 1-star, you'll see a small damage boost, but it greatly increases a shatter and produces a shield. 1-star version 1 Gnonno was able to pull out 87 million, with their 0-star 4-piece 107 million, and 1-star version 2 Gnonno with the 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 118 million. 1-star version 3 Gnonno with the 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 110 million, and 1-star version 4 Gnonno was able to pull out 79 million. 3-star version 1 Gnonno was able to pull out 96 million, with their 0-star 4-piece 118 million. 3-star version 2 Gnonno with a 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 130 million. 3-star version 3 Gnonno with a 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 121 million, and 3-star version 4 Gnonno was able to pull out 87 million. For the 5-star, you'll see a small damage boost, but it increases the damage by 10% as long as the target's health is under 80%. Unfortunately, we can't show this on the cactus. 5-star version 1 Gnonno was able to pull out 101 million, with their 0-star 4-piece 124 million. 5-star version 2 Gnonno with a 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 137 million. 5-star version 3 Gnonno with a 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 127 million. And 5-star version 4 Gnonno was able to pull out 92 million. 6-star version 1 Gnonno was able to pull out 111 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 136 million, with her 3-star 4-piece 153 million. 6-star version 2 Gnonno with the 0-star 4-piece was able to pull out 150 million, with her 3-star 4-piece 169 million. 6-star version 3 Gnonno with the 0-star 4-piece 140 million, with their 3-star 4-piece 154 million. And 6-star version 4 Gnonno was able to pull out 101 million. And here's what this comp was able to do using live stat values. 6-star version 1 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 215 million. 6-star version 2 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 230 million. 6-star version 3 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 216 million. And 6-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 145 million. 6-star version 5 Gnonno was able to reach 225 million. And again, this is with no Gnonno matrices. Next, let's start with the rotation. So you want to start with Fiona skill, then use Umi skill, then immediately switch off Umi as soon as her initial skill damage goes off, switch to Gnonno and use Maelstrom as soon as you switch. Then use her hold attack for about 20 seconds. Next, discharge Fiona, then rinse and repeat by using Fiona skill, Umi skill, and so on. Next, we have the Claudia comp. And here are the average player stats for this comp. Almost 9k crit and close to 21,000 physical attack. This team consisted of Fiona, Claudia, and Gnonno. And for the matrices, we have quite a few combinations. So version 1 consisted of using Umi matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Claudia using a 3-star 4-piece Umi, Gnonno using no matrices, her 0-star 4-piece matrices, and her 3-star 4-piece matrices. Version 2 used Lyra matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Claudia using a 0-star 4-piece Gnonno, and a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. Version 3 used physical matrices, with Fiona using a 0-star 4-piece Gnonno, a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno, Claudia using a 3-star 4-piece Umi, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. Version 4 used free-to-play matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Shiro, Claudia using a 0-star 4-piece Habuella, and Gnonno using a 3-star 2-piece Lyra, 3-star 2-piece Amir. So here are the results of the Claudia comp in a minute and 30 seconds. So 0-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 62 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 85 million. 0-star version 2 Gnonno with her 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 87 million. And 0-star version 3 Gnonno with her 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 79 million. And 0-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 57 million. 1-star Gnonno had a small damage boost due to stats, but it greatly increased the shatter and gave the ability to gain a shield. 1-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 64 million, with their 0-star 4-piece 87 million. 1-star version 2 Gnonno with their 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 89 million. And 1-star version 3 Gnonno with their 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 82 million. And 1-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 59 million. 3-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 71 million, with her 0-star 4-piece piece, 96 million. 3-star version 2 Gnonno with her 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 98 million. And 3-star version 3 Gnonno with her 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 90 million. And 3-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 65 million. 5-star Gnonno had a small damage boost due to stats, but gets a 10% damage boost once the target's health is under 80%. Unfortunately, we can't do that on the cactus. 5-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 75 million. With their 0-star 4-piece, 101 million. 5-star version 2 Gnonno with a 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 103 million. And 5-star version 3 Gnonno with a 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 95 million. And 5-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 69 million. 6-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 83 million. With their 0-star 4-piece, 111 million. With their 3-star 4-piece, 125 million. 6-star version 2 Gnonno with their 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 113 million. With their 3-star 4-piece, 126 million. 6-star version 3 Gnonno with their 0-star 4-piece was able to reach 105 million. With their 3-star 4-piece, 118 million. And 6-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 76 million. Now here's what this comp was able to do using live stat values. 6-star version 1 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 180 million. 6-star version 2 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 195 million. And 6-star version 3 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 176 million. And 6-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 109 million. Now let's discuss the rotation. You want to start with Fiona's skill, then you use Claudia's skills, immediately switch off of Claudia as soon as her initial skill damage goes off. Switch to Gnonno and use Maelstrom as soon as you switch. Then use her hold attack for about 20 seconds. Next you discharge to Fiona, rinse and repeat with Fiona's skill, the Claudia skill, and so on. Next we have the Altered comp. And these are the average stats that we were using. Almost 10k crit and almost 22,000 physical attack. And this team consisted of Fiona, Lyn, and Gnonno. And for the matrices, we have quite a few combinations. So version 1 consisted of using Gnonno matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Lyn using a 3-star 4-piece Lyn, Gnonno using no matrices, her 0-star 4-piece matrices, and her 3-star 4-piece matrices. Version 2 used DPS matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Lyn using a 3-star 4-piece Lyn, and Gnonno using a 3-star 2-piece Lyra, 3-star 2-piece Samir. Version 3 used Claudia matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Lyn using a 3-star 4-piece Lyn, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Claudia. Version 4 used free-to-play matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Shiro, Lyn using a 0-star 4-piece Habuella, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Claudia. Then we have version 5 using Lyra matrices, with Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Lyn using a 3-star 4-piece Lyn, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. But this was only tested at 6-star with live stat values. This is what this team was able to do in a minute and 30 seconds. 0-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 91 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 112 million. 0-star version 2 Gnonno was able to reach 117 million, and 0-star version 3 Gnonno was able to reach 127 million, and 0-star version 4 Gnonno reached 92 million. 1-star gave a small damage boost, but greatly increased the shatter and gave the ability to get a shield. 1-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 93 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 114 million, and 1-star version 2 was able to reach 119 million, 1-star version 3 was able to reach 129 million, and 1-star version 4 was able to reach 94 million. 3-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 102 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 126 million, and 3-star version 2 Gnonno was able to reach 131 million. 3-star version 3 Gnonno was able to reach 142 million, and 3-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 104 million. 5-star Gnonno gained a small damage boost due to stats, but also gets a damage boost once the target's health is under 80%. Unfortunately, we're not able to do this on the cactus. 5-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 107 million, with her 0-star 4-piece 132 million, and 5-star version 2 Gnonno was able to reach 138 million. 5-star version 3 Gnonno was able to reach 149 million, and 5-star version 4 was able to reach 109 million. 6-star version 1 Gnonno was able to reach 112 million, with their 0-star 4-piece 139 million, and with their 3-star 4-piece 160 million. 6-star version 2 Gnonno was able to reach 145 million, and 6-star version 3 Gnonno was able to reach 155 million. And 6-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 115 million. And this is what this comp was able to do using live stat values. 6-star version 1 Gnonno using her 3-star 4-piece was able to reach 222 million. 6-star version 2 Gnonno was able to reach 192 million. And 6-star version 3 Gnonno was able to reach 202 million. 6-star version 4 Gnonno was able to reach 139 million. And 6-star version 5 Gnonno using Lyra matrices was able to reach 196 million. And here is the rotation for this comp. You want to start with Fiona skill, then you want to use Lyn skill, immediately switch off Lyn, then switch to Gnonno and use Maelstrom as soon as you switch. Then use her hold attack for about 20 seconds, discharge to Fiona, rinse and repeat with Fiona skill to Lyn skill, and so on. We also tested a few other teams at the 6-star level besides the meta teams. The first being monophysical. So here are the average and live stat values that we used. For the team consisting of Umi, Lyra, and Gnonno. And they used the Alice trait, with Umi using a 3-star 4-piece Umi, Lyra using a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. And in a minute and 30 seconds, using average stat values, they were able to reach 98 million. But using live stat values, they were able to reach 150 million. The second mono team consisted of Umi, Claudia, and Gnonno, and here are the average and live stat values. And they used the Alice trait, with Umi using a 3-star 4-piece Umi, Claudia using a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. And in a minute and 30 seconds, using average stat values, they were able to reach 110 million. But using live stat values, they were able to reach 170 million. And the last team was Rainbow, consisting of Fiona, Lon, and Gnonno. So these were the average and live stat values, and they used the Fiona trait. And for the scatter techniques, for the primary skill they used Hydro Focus, and for the secondary skill they used Torrential Force. With Fiona using a 3-star 4-piece Fiona, Lon using a 3-star 4-piece Gnonno, and Gnonno using a 3-star 4-piece Lyra. And in a minute and 30 seconds, with average stat values, they were able to reach 156 million. And with live stat values, they were able to reach 217 million. As you can see, this team competes with some of the meta teams in terms of DPS. So let's quickly discuss the rotation. This is essentially how you're going to start it out, unless you start out with a discharge or so. So you want to start out by using Fiona skill to Torrential Force, to switching to Gnonno and doing a hold attack. And right before you get a discharge, switch to Lon and do her skill. Then once you get a discharge, switch to Gnonno and activate her discharge so that way you get the 45 pip Octowhips. Do a hold attack, and basically you rinse and repeat. But if you find yourself not being able to discharge with Gnonno, try to get on Fiona because her normal attacks generate more charge. Now for the disclaimer/notice section. And the first thing that I want to mention is the testing environment, which has a lot of input lag, so you might be able to pull out better numbers than we did. For example, Kawasa is able to pull out 200 million on the live servers with the Umi comp, whereas on the test server, he was only able to pull out 180 million. You'll also notice that I used the Lyra matrices in the free-to-play matrices sections, but this is to take place of Crow since it does not work on the Cactus. Number 2, matrices. Now looking at the testing, you'll notice that Fiona matrices are really powerful and I recommend picking them up, especially for the physical team. In almost every comp, Fiona matrices made a big difference. But next, let's talk about Gnonno matrices. Now these could be a skip unless they get buffed by the time they come to live, especially if you have Umi matrices. But one thing to note about Gnonno's matrices is her 4-piece, which gives a 40% stamina reduction. So in longer fights, you may feel the effects of not having stamina on Gnonno due to her playstyle. But one thing you can do to offset this is just stay on Umi for a little bit longer and you can replenish your stamina. Number 3, various team options. As you saw with all the testing and the matrices, Gnonno can work in a lot of different teams, due to the fact that she brings a much needed buff to the physical team, as well as others with huge shatter, damage, and buffs. Her simplicity and gameplay is perfect for anyone who wants to do tons of damage without having to try too hard. Plus, Gnonno being in other teams like Rainbow or Altered allows you not to have to worry about stamina management. Also, at the time of recording, Gnonno is out in the live servers, and they buffed her 3 and 6-star Ascension. So if you decide to fully invest in Gnonno, you should be doing more damage than currently calculated. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and let me know down in the comments, are you guys rolling for Gnonno? Or are you just saving for those 3.0 characters? But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.